Baking bread doesn't need to be difficult. Today I'm going to show you an easy, foolproof cornbread recipe. So let's get baking. We start first with quarter cup of warm water, 1.5 teaspoon of dry active yeast, 2.5 teaspoon of dry active yeast, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And give it a stir to dissolve the yeast and the sugar, and then we are just going to set it aside for usually takes 5-7 minutes until it becomes foamy, and so that the yeast is working good and it's not an old yeast, because that's important. You don't want to make a bread and then the bread won't rise and won't become anything of it because the yeast wasn't working properly. So this is all good. I'm going to set it aside and continue with my recipe. Next, I have here a quarter cup of vegetable oil and also 2 onions that I sliced and 1 jalapeno pepper. Now, if you don't want the heat in your bread, then you can leave the pepper out totally, or use, if you want just a little bit of pepper, use some pepper that are not hot peppers. So I'm going to go to the stove now and saute this together. I'm going to add some of this oil into my pan, and I'm going to saute this onion and peppers. As I said, if you don't want to do this, you can leave them like this, but for me, I want them to disappear in the bread. I don't want to see them chunks of anything. And it only takes a couple of minutes. I'm going to just add a sprinkle of salt. This will help to draw the moisture out from the onions, and just give them a few turns and let them wilt. And then we are going to remove and let it cool completely before adding it to the dough. Going to add the remaining of the oil and 1 egg, and give it a whisk. So I have oil and the egg, and then add quarter cup of sour cream, give it a whisk, sort of to mix it together. Next, adding half cup of water, half a cup of cornmeal, fine cornmeal, not the grits, but the fine cornmeal. I'm going to add the yeast, and look at the yeast, it foamed, and now I'm going to add it to my mix and give it a stir. And then in goes half a cup of whole wheat flour. Stir until it's no more lumps. And in goes the sauteed onion and pepper mix, and the oil that has delicious flavor, so why not? I'll give this a stir. And then start adding the all-purpose flour. And this is 1 cup of flour. We need between 2 and 2.5 cups of flour. So now I'm going to remove the whisk and then add the flour and knead it by hand. We also need 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Also, here I have a 1/4 cup of cheddar. So now I'm going to start and work everything in. The other cup of flour. And now I'm going to put the remaining flour on my board and remove this on the board and knead it here on the board. So add the remaining of the flour and then start kneading. I'm going to add some more flour. The dough should be stiff, not soft. So I kneaded about 3 minutes. I added more flour, so I used in total about 2¼ cup of all-purpose flour, and the dough looks pretty good. See how it bounces back when I press on it. So now I'm going to place it in this bowl and let it rise for an hour. And the dough has risen. It's beautiful. I'm gonna add some flour to my board here and take it out. I'm just gonna fold it like this. Just pinch the ends like this and then place it in my pan. I have here a 6 by 10 inch pan. Place it in there and then I'm going to let it rise again for about 20 minutes or 30 minutes. The dough has rested for half an hour, so now it's ready for the oven. I preheated the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just gonna do a little bit of on top, just gently, and in the oven it goes. The bread is done. I baked the bread at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. Gonna let it cool here on the rack. One of the little pleasures in life is freshly baked bread, and the anticipation of trying the freshly baked bread with some butter, oh, just delicious. And this is no exception. So I really recommend you trying this bread if you love bread. This is an easy recipe and delicious bread. So give the recipe a try and let me know how it turned out for you. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end. I really appreciate you watching my video, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye for now.